All right, we want to talk to you a little bit about what to look for when you're looking for a physical therapist, and how do you know that the physical therapist is the right person for you?
Sort of what to expect when you're expecting physical therapy.
Yes, exactly.
So that's what we're going to go over.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, physical therapists have a variety of specialties. So there's some people who specialize in orthopedics, some more in neurological conditions, some more in geriatrics, some are for younger populations, more sports related. So I think that's a place to start, is just think about what your needs are, what your goals are, and that could be a place to start investigating just on the internet.
I think that's great. Right.
Yeah.
So for example, if you look up a company and they say specializing in sports and you're 85 and you have a walking problem, you're probably not going to the right place. I mean, they may have somebody there, but I think that's a great suggestion.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great place to start.
Go on.
No.
Yeah.
And okay, so we know people. So if somebody wants a therapist, they ask me, I know where to send them. But the reality is there's a couple resources, and they're only as good as you are in terms of being an investigator. So the American Physical Therapy Association has a Find a PT website. It isn't everybody, all right? Only APTA members are on it. So you might be missing some people in your area that are really good. All right. The other thing you can do is just do a Google search and see how your therapist, see who's listed, read about them. They're also on health grades.
Yeah.
I mean, you get rated.
Yeah.
You can do that if you like. I would definitely talk to somebody, ask them if they know of any therapists they like, somebody that has really done a lot.
And I also think, like, if you go to a specific website for a physical therapy company, and read the bios of the therapists on the website, because they'll say what body part they specialize in or what they like, what they enjoy. Because after people have been practicing a while, we all kind of find our groove and what really resonates with us and what type of patients we're seeing. So some people really do a lot of total joints, but they might not be as good with like an athletic knee injury, but they're good with joints, or somebody who's had a stroke, and they'll put that in their bio. So therapists really like to treat what they like to treat, and that's what they want. Those are the types of patients they want to attract. So I think reading the specific bios of the of the physical therapist, and then when you go in and for your first evaluation, there's some keys to look for as well. And what would you think the first sign that you found the right physical therapist?
Well, let me just put a little rider on that before. Don't let the system freak you out, okay? So for example, if you go to make an appointment, they ask you to fill out all these forms, there's all these things about payment. Unfortunately, that is the world in which we live. That doesn't necessarily mean the therapist is going to be bad, so just get through that. Just get through that.
Yes.
I don't think that dictates a good therapist. So just, because I have been turned off by certain medical people because their system is just so blah. And then you go in and they're like the greatest practitioner you've ever worked with. And
almost every one of my patients who comes, they're like, more paperwork. I can't believe I have to fill out all these forms again. And I know, and it is just part of it.
It is. And I apologize for. But
me too.
Don't let that turn you off, okay? So once you get in, the very first thing is you want somebody who sees you, who listens to you, all right? And if they're talking and you're talking, they're not listening, all right? They need to take in as much information and give you feedback. When you say my knee hurts or I'm feeling weak, they need to ask good questions that get to the problem. They need to take the time to get that information from you, all right? And your first visit should be pretty long for them to get the good information.
And they should always ask what your goals are.
Totally.
What do you want to get out of this? So you're on the same team. You're really on the same playing field, working towards the same goal, because the physical therapist goal might not be your goal. It might not be relevant at all. So they need to incorporate what you want to get out of this, and that's a key question.
Yep. And if you don't hear that, that's not so good.
Yes, exactly.
And then the other thing is when they start working with you, is there good follow-up? Do they seem to be using things that are helping you? What happens when you come in and you say, I did that and it made me worse, or I didn't like it? they shouldn't keep saying, "Oh, you got to keep doing." No,
Yeah.
I had one guy that I work with. It's so insulting. He said his therapist was a 4-trick pony. She knew 4 exercises, and that's all she did with him. You don't want any 4-trick ponies, all right? And it makes me sad. I know there are some people practicing like that, but
Most aren't.
Most aren't. And
Yeah.
good therapists will switch it up, give you good exercise, give you feedback, monitor what you're doing. You know, you can go to a gym by yourself.
Right.
You know, the point of going to a therapist is they need to give you valuable information.
Yes.
And go ahead.
And I was going to say, and it is not a straight uphill process. Like
No.
you get better. So
Right.
don't expect that either. It ebbs and flows,
Yep,
and
yep.
the therapist is learning from you and how you respond to the treatment and making adjustments along the way. And a good therapist will make sure they're adjusting with you along the way.
And I got to say one other thing. We're very likable. So a lot of people like us, but we may not be doing a good job. I'll see people that were seen by other therapists and they go, "Gosh, but I really liked her or him." You know, I said, "Well, were they helping you?" No. All right. Well, if they're not helping you, you know, you have to change it up. As much as you like them, you know, and they are good people, but they may not be the right person for you.
Yeah.